Right, morning all. Without spoiling the surprise, this is the little Saturday morning job. I'm just making up another headstock. I'm not going to tell you what it's for yet. You'll have to keep watching the video. This is a 130mm centre originally, and my machine's 180. So I've got bits of dog link off the digger which I replaced before. I've cut them down because they're 35mm bosses, pin bosses as it were, and put them in. So what I did, the way I did it, was I measured up these to get the centres, put these on, I've tacked them on. They're a 35mm diameter hole, same right foot pin, and I have a 35mm hole cutter somewhere. Being very careful not to show you what's behind me. And just one of these doodads. And you can use these without the pilot drill in the middle if you've got support for them all the way around. So I took that, and hopefully you can sort of see in there. I use them hole cutters to bore to cut half a hole or a half round out of the original plate, which allows the pin to go through. You can see it pins slack now, but these outers are only tacked on. I'm going to weld them up fully, but I'm going to leave the pin in just in case it warps a little bit with welding. At least if pin's in and it warps and pin's tight, it won't matter till I need to get the pin out. But yeah, I think that's been the easiest way of doing this. I had thought about, you can see the line, maybe I'd thought about cutting down here and then sliding this hole back, but for the distance that it is and the amount of material that you would have, it wasn't worth it, so I've just put that on the end. It's a little bit crude, but if it works, it works. It's not on a bucket or anything that's digging, so it's only really picking the machine up and putting it down, so we should be alright. So you've seen what it is. While it's upside down, I've given it a quick sharpen. Interesting, well, sort of interesting. I haven't seen them like this before. This has the same Bomford boot flails as our edge cutter has, which I haven't seen on one of these, on a digger flail. You usually see the like wider, they're called whale. Are they called whale flails or something? I don't know. They're like 4 inches wide and one solid piece. These, I don't know if these are the originals or not. It's a 2017, so I can't see it getting through them. But one slightly odd thing, which we'll find out whether it works or not, is there might be slight gaps between them in where they would be cutting. We'll see how it works, but just a bit odd. These are nice heavy flails. That's the thing about this. That Bomford edge cutter of ours with them on, they're a grass and hedge cutting flail, which should be good if I'm using this in heavier going, sort of getting into thorns and hedges and trees and stuff. Heavier flails should be good. The fact that it's got these on does tempt me to perhaps measure up the radius of them and see if I could get an equivalent solid hedge cutting flail, like an F10 double-sided solid hedge cutting flail that you need. You need like a spacer similar to that it rides on, and it's just one solid flail that would take up the same area. So I think a set of them on one of these would be pretty sweet. But yeah, that's underneath it. It's got a 3-position roller, greasable, hot rollers tight. The rotor seems tight, the bearings are good. I did just pull the motor off. You take that plate off and it slides out, and I had a look in there at the bearings and everything, and they are, both ends of the rotor are greasable, which is good, and it all seems tight and straight. The proof will be when I run it up, but yeah, that's the underneath anyway. While it's upside down, I've got a new set of front flaps to put on, same as I fitted to our hedge cutter, just I did them as one piece. I just cut one piece and cut slots in them to let them flap. On the hedge cutter I put individual ones on, which was a lot of work. There's the old one, you can sort of see it's got a bit chewed, but yeah, that's it. So turn it back over, put this on, and then we'll get it on machine and give it a try. Right, in a bit. Right, so there we are. It's all rigged up. I haven't tried it yet, such is, but it's on. And we've got a bit of a conglomerate of pipes to make them reach. This side is just long enough. It will go through the full travel, because there's a point where this crosses and gets nearer, and that is long enough, that one. But I might still do something with it because I don't really like it like that. This other one wasn't long enough, such is because it was on a much smaller machine. So we've added that one that goes over there, and a little thing, and just a connector temporarily. We will see how it goes. I might splash out some money and get a pipe to go from here to here on the thing, put a bulkhead on here with a connector pointing up, and then just have a short hose for there, and do the same with this side, run one round across to a bulkhead, fasten to that then runs up. But we'll see how they go. I think they're good enough for now to try it. Same thing, this is a 1/2 inch flat face fitting on the supply side, and we've got 3/4 on the return. The reason for that is I've only got the 2 3/4 that were on the machine, and those two 60 quid, and those two are about 40 when you add them together, so it's a lot of money. And we have some of these, so if this works, and these can handle the flow, I think these can do 51 litres a minute, and the digger can only do like 48, so, but we'll see. If they get hot I'll swap them, but if they work they'll be alright. So yeah, I'm going to have some dinner now. I'm going to try it out. Got it all smartened up, got my new flap on the front, and so yeah, I've just rigged up. There's this little switch here. So these Takuchis, they don't have proportional or anything. They have these two momentary switches, and you'd have to hold one down all the time, and they're quite heavy actually on your thumb. So I've routed the wires and found the wires and just put this basically toggle switch onto A. So the way this machine has double acting or single acting, you turn a valve, so once it's in single acting, A is the only one that does anything, B doesn't do anything. It's just a free flow return to the hydraulic tank. So with this I can press the button for A and it will spin up, or I can switch the switch on and it will spin up and stay spinning until I switch it off. Sort of constant flow is what that would be called. But yeah, I've just run the wires round. It's on the side of the joystick. I'll see if I like it there or not. I mean, it's only one screw to take it off and leave it hanging it back at cab when you don't need it. But yeah, we're going to go and have a play with it now and see what I can do with it. Yeah, seems to be right. I dialed the pressures down a little bit on the machine. They're about 10 bar too high for it. I'm doing about 210 bar on the auxiliaries, and they're supposed to have a max pressure of 200. So turned it down 10 bar or so, and we'll see how we get on with it. Right, so there you go. That's first quick sort of mess with the flail. That's bloody mint, is that? Absolutely mint. That's going to be lovely. I'm going to take it and try it on a better hedge somewhere, but no, that's really nice. No more messing about with hedge trimmers. So yeah, that works very well. I'm happy with the switch for just switching it on. You can switch it on and use it as much as you want and then switch it off if you want to move further, but the machine's perfectly happy to do all its functions. It just takes the flow away from the head, so it's quite nice. It's not too bad. Say I can't move trailer, it's looking good. Right guys, this will be the last part of this sort of introduction to the flail mower. You'll have seen me using it a bit, not as much as I like to have shown you, but the SD card corrupted on the camera halfway through, so it's a day later. I was checking the footage last night and we lost the footage, but I'm very happy with it so far. I don't know, you probably can't see, but I took it down. There's a fence line down the back of an outdoor school and down them trees, and did all sorts of brambles and branches that were stuck out. I'm very impressed with it. It's a great piece of kit. I gave the flails a quick sharpen with them still on, but I'm just going to pull them all off, sharpen them all, weigh them all, make sure there's no heavy or light ones, and then put them back on perfectly sharp, ready to go. I might do something with the hydraulic lines. I've got it is fastened on that joint because this pipe wasn't long enough, but I might, like I was saying, put a bulkhead on so that the pipes run from here just to the top. but it's in perfectly usable shape, so I'm not too worried. The machine handles it very well. It's only a small width of cut, but to be honest, with using it for hedges and heavier sort of going, I'm quite happy with that. I'd rather have it spool up and down quicker. You know, the rotor speed, the rotor comes up to speed quite quickly and recovers quite well, which I think is probably, when you're working in heavier stuff, is probably better than having a wider rotor, because at the end of the day, wide rotor is very well and good on like a hedge cutter where you're going down it, where you're taking passes, but with this, taking an extra pass doesn't really take any longer to sort of do, if that makes sense. But no, I'm very happy with how it runs. The nice thing is the digger always has priority over the head. So if you get the head into something where you need to pick it up, or you need to move it, or you need to track or anything like that, the machine will always do that, even if you've left the hydraulics on. Just the head slows down when you do. But you can balance it and do sort of slow movements of the arm in and out and like up and down, and the head will stay running. The same thing, you can track and cut, but you have to track very slowly, and you can listen between the tracking and the head slowing down and find the speed, and then you can track along if you're trying to cut dead straight. As I've said before, I've got it rigged up onto that switch, which is basically just replacing the momentary buttons that are on the top of there. So instead of having to hold A down all the time, you flick the switch on, the head runs, you flick the switch off, it stops running. The machine's in, the machine valve at this side is in single acting, so the line on the other side is just a free flow return as standard on this machine, so you switch it on and use it and switch it off. And like I say, with machine having priority, you don't have to switch the head off if you want to track somewhere. You just set off tracking and the head slows down. You can leave it switched on, which is quite handy. So yeah, I'm happy with that. That's wired in. I'm going to leave this on for now and see how I get used to having it on the handle. It's not really in the way, but sometimes you catch your hand on it. We'll see. I can always just pull that screw out and chuck it in back at cab. It's no big deal. But that's definitely, if you're running one on a machine that you can have it set up to where it's on a switch, it's much better to use. That's if your machine has priority over the head. If you have to switch the head off to lift it or do anything, that setup wouldn't work for you. But yeah, that'll be it for now. The introduction to this. Hopefully I have some jobs for it, and I'll get some footage of them and using it and sort of what have you. But yeah, brilliant bit of kit. Brilliant bit of kit. I've done a hedge out the other side of the house there where I started. I've just done a bit more at it today, and it's almost more convenient than doing it with a tractor. Almost. You wouldn't want to do miles and miles of farm hedges with it, but at the same time, if you're doing a little bit of hedge while you're doing something else, it's well worth it. It's just so much handier. You do all the piece that you're working on and then move on, instead of having to travel backwards and forwards with tractor and edge cutter. So, but no, great bit of kit. Yeah, really impressed with it. So yeah, hopefully, like I say, a few bits and pieces hopefully lined up for it, so that should be good. Get some footage of them, and like I say, I'll get some footage using it and sort of what have you. But yeah, that'll be it for this one. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you on the next one.